how do I choose a via size for the exposed pad on an IC? Usually there is a suggestion for that in the datasheet somewhere, but for AD9578, I can't find anything in the datasheet. This is a really great question because the pad size will constrain the drill size that you can use to form those via in pad. As you get to smaller pitch, that of course requires you to use smaller pad sizes in order to meet clearance limits, and then that forces the drill size smaller in order to comply with your annular ring constraint. Eventually that required drill size gets so small that you're now required to use microvias on HDI buildup layers, and you'll probably need to stack and stagger them as well. Now, if you're doing via in pad, you're generally not routing traces between the pads, and that means you have some freedom to oversize that via pad just a little bit, and you can make it larger than the pad that you see in the BGA footprint. You want to make sure that you do two things. First, you want to make sure that you obey etch clearance limits between the pads in the BGA footprint or between the via pads that you're using in that BGA. That's going to ensure that you leave sufficient space between those pads so that you can etch them accurately. The other thing that you need to do is make sure that you leave sufficient solder mask dam between neighboring pads on those via in pad. That means you might want to have a negative solder mask expansion on those vias. That's going to ensure that you've got plenty of solder mask dam and that you don't have solder flow across pins and then create a short circuit.